Welcome back to another fantastic property tour, Rankin family. Today, we are back again in Brentwood, Tennessee, looking at another gorgeous luxury home for sale. And I want to give a huge thank you to the listing agents, Susan Gregory and Shannon Pope with Onward Real Estate, for making this tour possible. I'll be sure to leave all of the information in the description below. Now, starting on the exterior, family, look how grand this home looks. You have the high-pitched roofs along with the natural stone and brick. Now, as far as the color combination is concerned on the exterior, you are going to have heron plume along with peppercorn, so really sets the tone. Now, also, what's fascinating about this home is you will have a porte-cochere, but you will have a single car garage right there to the right. And that is going to have its own private staircase leading to its own suite. We'll see that a little bit later on in the tour. Now, this home is located in Prim Farm, a brand new development right here in Brentwood. And I'll turn you around so you can see all of the new development happening. So brand new construction, and that will be your neighbors. Now, going to our covered front porch, you see you have the gas lanterns, but what's neat about this is they added the beautiful wood porch ceilings inside of here along with the stone. So that's going to continue this way. Then you have these beautiful double doors with the glass panes and the transom window right above there, bringing in a ton of natural light. Now, let's get you inside of this beautiful home so you can see the beauty for itself. Okay, look at this. So upon heading into your foyer, you have 20-foot ceilings and you have the curved staircase. Now, being a Texas boy myself, you know we see that quite often out in Texas, so I can appreciate it out here in Tennessee. Now, I'll turn you right over here to the right before we head to the study, because I want you to see this oversized formal dining area. You have the plaster walls, and that's going to continue throughout. And then that's going to couple with the alabaster. So a lot of comments that I get quite often when I read them is what is the colors? Because maybe you want to add that to your house. Maybe it just, for your own personal reference. So you're going to have the alabaster, that's the off-white. You have plaster. And then as we enter inside of the study, you're going to have iron ore. And look how beautiful this looks. Wow. They've done a fantastic job. You see, you got the French doors leading you in here. White oak floors extends in here and the foyer. Then you have that wood slat accent wall right there. You got your built-in desk, your built-in shelving as well. So what you see is what you get. Of course, if it's something where you want to purchase the furniture, that's a separate conversation, but it certainly is negotiable. Now, look how discreet this storage closet is. How neat is that? I'll pan you upward so you see the raised ceilings inside of there. And really the possibilities are endless. If you decide to use this as a study, as intended, then you can have a full-size copier in there. But I'll do a full pan. As you can see, a lot of beautiful details along with the gold sconce right there. So illuminating any artwork that you may have or anything of that nature. And then look at this. We're getting closer to Christmas time, right? So that massive Christmas tree would fit perfectly right there. Okay, so continuing along, you see that we have these gorgeous archways leading you to the great room. We'll see that in just a second. I want you to see the coat closet. And if you're new to the channel, I like to open every single door possible so that way you can see every nook and cranny. Oh my goodness. So if you haven't, let me know in the comments below. But let's talk about the great room itself before we head to the kitchen. You're going to have 12-foot ceilings in here, the beautiful exposed beams. Then you have those 10-foot sliders with the grids inside. Look at that. Double recessed built-ins. Beautiful arches as well. I just love what they've done in here. Interior designer did a fantastic job. I'll make sure to leave her information and their company in the description as well, so that way you can check them out. The white oak floors continues here. You have the custom white oak cabinetry. So you can see as far as the shelving is concerned, then you are going to have a reeded drawer, or at least the cabinet door right there. So really beautiful as that nice architectural element. Then you are going to have plaster from floor to ceiling for our fireplace surround. And look how grand this looks. Love the way they designed it. So perfect. It's very cozy, extremely intimate, and interactive at the same time. So now heading inside of our kitchen, look how beautiful this is. You have a massive oversized island. You have the waterfall countertops, marble material, and that's going to continue up the backsplash. Beautiful. So the 12-foot ceilings continues inside of here. Perfect place to entertain and prep any meal possible, even if you don't like to cook. I tell you, you get one of these, you're probably going to become Martha Stewart. But on top of that, you see the inset cabinetry. So flush, really discreet, has that minimal feel, but elegant at the same time. You're going to have that plaster range hood right above that, monogram appliances. We do have a pot filler. Love to see that. What a fantastic job they've done. Then you see you have the black hardware as well, stacked cabinetry, and then look at that. Really sets the tone. So before we continue, let's go ahead and open up some of these cabinets and drawers. That way you can see how much storage is available. And really at the end of the day, the marble does a fantastic job of complementing this cabinetry. And you can see how massive this is. So I talk about it quite often. If it's one thing where you want to entertain, or even if you maybe move from out of state and you don't have a ton of family, you get you one of these homes, you're going to have a lot of extended family coming to you. So this is going to be a panel ready refrigerator, monogram as well. So really nice inset, flush. And then before we continue, let's see our dishwasher. You got Miele, and then you got your trash drawer right here. And then now heading straight over here to our breakfast room. Look at this. The beautiful natural stone accents continues here. I know you can see that backyard with your built-in pool. We'll get to that a little bit later on. But gorgeous light fixture right above our dining table. So plenty of space. So coming from our foyer, you saw that we have the archways, right? But then that also continues leading you from the kitchen to the dining room and vice versa. So heading this way, look at this. You have a perfect wet bar. Love to see this. Now the color here is going to be ripe olive. And then you have your quart or your quartzite countertops. You got some additional cabinetry right above that. Perfect for your wine fridge. You have a ton of space available. Now, before we do continue, look at this. You got your wine rack right here. You can store up to 120 bottles or close to. That's a guesstimate right there. So don't quote me on that. Your inset cabinetry continues this way. Then you have the glass pane cabinet doors. And of course, that'll lead you right back to your formal dining. All right. So let me know in the comments what you're giving this home so far. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Now let's go ahead and head to our guest suite, and make sure you stay tuned for our primary room, our primary suite itself. Look at this. So a ton of space available in here. You see that's a queen size bedroom. Your 2 nightstands, you have a ton of room to work with still. If you ever wanted to upgrade to a king size bed, or if you ever plan to add that in here, you will have no issues whatsoever. Then you got the massive windows, bringing in some more natural light. And then of course, your 10-foot ceilings inside of here. you already have your built-ins ready to go. They even painted this door right here, that iron ore that we saw inside of the study. So a lot of nice additions that they added in here. I can certainly appreciate them. I'm pointing them out as best as I can. Maybe you caught something. If you did catch something that I haven't caught, please share in the comments below. You have quartz countertops in here, floor to ceiling tiling in here. Look at that. Your beautiful sconce, very modern, extremely contemporary. And then look at that. Absolutely stunning. And then of course you got your little water closet right there. More of like a, I don't know. And trust me, that's not me, that's the door. Okay, so I just wanted to show you this since we're already here, why not? So this will be right underneath our porte-cochere, right? Look how much parking space you have available, not to mention your 3-car garage and then your additional single car garage right there. All right, we'll see that in a second, but let's go ahead and continue down this way. And trust me, we will see our working pantry. I'll show you the utility room and we'll make our way over there. So plenty of space. You have your quartz countertops right above your washer and dryer hookup. You got stacked cabinetry along with additional cabinet doors and plenty of space to work with. You have a secondary refrigerator and increased storage on this side. Love what I'm seeing. And then that faucet right there is champagne bronze. So let's go ahead and continue. This would be our drop zone or mud area. You got some additional cabinetry, the ripe olive, beautiful combination. And then this is our working pantry. You have a massive sink in here. The monogram appliances continues here, stacked cabinetry, the ripe olive, and then look at that. Beautiful what I'm seeing. So you are going to have leathered black pearl countertops in here. So a nice addition. They're changing up the materials in here to keep it fresh for you. And I love what they did. So of course, before we continue, you have this quick access door right here, epoxy floors leading you inside of here, your 3-car garage. And look at this. You already have your tankless water heater, plenty of space in here to store any vehicle that you may have. You can fit 3 Suburbans in here, or 3 SUVs rather. You know, whether you have the Cadillac Escalades, maybe you have a supercar or something like that. You'll have no challenge fitting them in there. Okay, so last but certainly not least, before we head upstairs, let's see our primary suite. So you're gonna have 2 bedrooms down and the rest are gonna be upstairs. But wait till you see this primary. Now they do have a powder bath right over here to the left. You see, gorgeous champagne bronze in here. White oak floors extends. The toilet is behind this door. You're just gonna have to trust me on that. I promise you it's there. Okay. Look at this. And then I'm going to pan you upwards. So you have the shiplap ceiling along with the cathedral ceilings, right? Clear story window, plenty of space. That king size bed looks tiny in here because of the amount of space that you get. Very impressive. The alabaster is going to continue inside of this suite. And I'll stand on this angle and do a full pan so you can see the scope. So you have a ton of room to work with in here. And of course, with the vaulted ceiling, you have just the abundance, that airy feel that you want in here, the tranquility, the peace. That's what I love to see. Now, heading inside of your primary bath, you are going to have a wet room right here. We'll see that in just a second. But over here to the left, you have your his and hers vanities. You see, you got your beautiful, elegant sconces, the towel closet on both sides. Very superior, extremely beautiful. Now, heading in here, 0 threshold. You have your dual waterfall shower heads, and then turning around this massive freestanding tub. Then you see your arch right there with the wood slab backsplash. Really nice touch. The floor to ceiling, tile work. They just done a great job. You got your window right here, bringing some more natural light. And then even the ceilings, the ceiling height in here feels extremely airy again in here. And look at this. You have a massive primary closet. Look at this. First time that I've seen an L-shaped island or a closet island before, right? Inside of a closet. So that just shows you the amount of drawer space that you have. Some additional shelving right over there. Just an abundance of space to work with inside of here. And we talk about it quite often. Typically, I like to see the his and hers closets, just so there's no fussing and no fighting, and it's just extremely practical, right? But when a closet is this size, now I have to make an exception. And of course, I welcome your feedback in the comments below. Okay, before we continue, let me do one more pan up. Look at that, just a beautiful, timeless detail. You don't ever have to worry about it going out of style, I'll tell you that. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. We've seen the entire first level, as you can see. Typically in the tours, if this is your first time viewing the channel, head to the backyard a little bit later on. But let's go ahead and get you upstairs so you can see the beauty. So you are gonna have a full rec room. They even have a nice little, or a huge media room rather, and then a lot of practical space to work with. So I'll start you on this side first and foremost, because I want you to see this side. So you are gonna have 2 utility rooms. Straight ahead is gonna be your attic. But of course, as always, we like to open every door possible that is unlocked, so you can see how much storage you have. So you can store anything you like right here. You don't have to worry about climbing upwards. Just go straight there and you are good to go. Look at this. So a perfect yoga room. You can have a nice little gym up here. Straight ahead, you do have your washer and dryer hookup. So if you're sweating profusely right here, you can just add your clothes right there. Don't have to worry about dripping sweat throughout the entire house, right? So you got your built-in sink. That leather countertops continues this way, and you see your washer and dryer hookup right here. And this will be your second utility room. You already got the mirrors in here ready to go. Got the foam mats. Telling you, extremely practical. Okay, so you have an additional shelf right above there where your covered front porch is. So you can add some nice decor there. Maybe when Christmas comes around, add a second Christmas tree. That'll be a perfect place for you. Now let's go ahead and head into our secondary bedrooms. Okay, so your queen size bed, your 2 nightstands, 0 carpet inside of here. You see that we have the white oak floors that extends this way. You got a decent sized closet right here with the double doors. Not massive by any means, but certainly is enough to store a decent sized wardrobe. Then your ensuite, your quartz countertops, beautiful like sage green cabinetry, shower tub combo, your chrome waterfall shower head. Beautiful. And I tell you what, I mean, if you've been to Brentwood, Tennessee, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the homes do not disappoint. And even if you're just visiting, I promise you, you come out here, you might just make the move sometime in the future. Not now, but maybe later. Okay, so heading inside of here, look at this. So you have a wet bar right over here to the left, beverage fridge. You're gonna have carpet in here that's gonna extend to your media room, right? But gorgeous black quartz countertops, the shiplap accent wall, that's gonna be on all 4 sides. Perfect for a children's retreat. Sorry about that. But look at that. You got the accent lighting right underneath there. So already lit up, arts and crafts ready to go. Then over here, look at this, built-in bunk beds. How neat is that? The iron ore extends up here, beautiful modern light fixtures as well. So the kids would have a blast up here. And if you have grandchildren, trust me, they're probably going to stay a little bit longer than anticipated, which your kids would not be too mad about. Look how much room you have in here. This is what I'm talking about as far as the media room is concerned. You have the modern sconces as well, the wood slat accent wall. So we've been seeing that theme throughout the home quite often, and I know you can certainly appreciate that. You have two little entryways here, and let's see what's in here together. Okay, turn that light on for you. So you have storage right there. You can store that Uno, Monopoly, Twister. I've been playing Uno with my kiddos almost every day. They're addicted to it, but they won't stop until they win. So needless to say, I let them win sometimes. And then you have an additional storage closet right over here. But that's a nice hidden little feature. It blends in seamlessly. What a great job they've done. But really, the possibilities are endless. I love the way they staged this just to give you some more ideas. But if you wanted to have those theater seats in here, you can do that with a projector. Have this more of a game room, a club room. The possibilities are certainly endless. Okay, so now we'll go down these steps right over here. We'll go straight ahead because why not? And this one's going to be en suite. And look at this, very similar in size to our last secondary bedroom. That's a queen size bed, your two nightstands. Now I'm going to make the statement, you can fit a king size bed in here with the same size nightstands and still have walk room available. Even if you wanted to add the dresser, take away the desk, you still have space. And then each door that we've seen so far has been painted that iron ore color. So really like that. Okay, so we have the shower tub combo over there. Now we're going to have a walk-in shower here. Beautiful floor to ceiling tile work inside of here with our shower niche. And I'll turn you around, you have that massive shower head. You're gonna have the black countertops in here. More of that army green color with the sconce, your toilets right around the corner, right over there. And then the tall baseboards extends this way. Now we'll head right across the hall. And I'll just preface this by saying that's where the private suite was, coming from that single car garage that I mentioned earlier in the video. We'll see that in just a second. So next bedroom here, queen size bed again. Your desk over here, your two nightstands. This one has a ton of space. I didn't have the, I didn't get the measurements offhand, but what I'll go ahead and do is I'll just add that most likely to the description or something like that. We'll see. I'll see about getting the measurements first and foremost before I make any promises, but luckily the furniture is in all of these rooms, so just gives you a reference point. Okay, so now inside of here, beautiful light gray drawers and cabinetry. You got the champagne bronze hardware. You can see that right here as well. Gorgeous modern sconce. That's going to continue over here with your waterfall shower head and over here. So it has that nice little rose gold tint to it. Really beautiful. And look at this. So much attic space over here. It's almost ridiculous. All right, let me slowly turn you around. And let's go ahead and make our way to that suite right there that I mentioned. So you head down here, head down these steps right over here. So this is going to be your shared bathroom right over here. So you remember you did have the 2 shower tub combos, but this one's going to be a walk-in shower. So they kind of mix it, or changed it up a little bit for the most part. You got that little slant right there, champagne bronze, beautiful combination. And like I said, make sure you check out the interior designer's portfolio. It's always nice to see their work, because maybe this could, I don't know how it couldn't be your cup of tea, but if it's not and you have a different style or a different taste, they most likely can probably accommodate. So just check out the portfolio, see their work, and see if it makes sense. Okay, so look at this. So you have your own private staircase right there from your 1-car garage. Plenty of room available in here. So you have a closet and a window. So it is a bedroom, right? So maybe this could be a guest suite. And you have the one downstairs, but if you wanted your guests, if they're staying for an extended period of time, they may want to have their own, garage. And if you're generous enough to let them do that, you have that kind of relationship, well, this would be perfect because they have their own private access, and then you have your own, of course. But a ton of room available in here. Then you got the staircase lighting illuminating this entire staircase right here. Beautiful, elegant. You got your gorgeous sconces. So not only do they have access to the garage, but they also have access to the driveway. So I'll show you straight ahead. Look at that. And look at this. You even have your epoxy floors ready to go. Love it. And then let's continue. And then you have some additional storage. This will be right underneath your staircase. Okay. So I love what I'm seeing inside of here. I'll just show you that from upstairs so that way you can see that. Well, how about we do this? We'll go back up and then come back down because I don't have my shoes on. But this will just be a full recap of the entire house. And like I said, I remind you throughout the video quite often because I really just enjoy seeing the feedback. And then of course, a lot of times some of the developers team is taking a look at some of these comments and the feedback, and they could use that for their next projects and things like that. So we certainly do appreciate any of the comments and feedback that you do provide. Again, beautiful as far as the plaster walls are concerned. Then you come right back out here to gorgeous, great room. So this is going to be your screened in porch. And what you see is what you get, like I mentioned, right? So it's for sale, just under $5 million. Furniture is negotiable, but you can't tell me this wasn't worth it. The value is certainly there. Now, the natural stone fireplace surround continues right here, floor to ceiling. Then the wood patio ceilings right over here. And that's going to extend over there to your outdoor kitchen. Plenty of room to entertain and have guests over, family over, folks that you like over. This is a perfect place for you. And look at this. So you can imagine having a nice cold glass of brew and having a great time relaxing. And then look at this. I'll turn this on for you. You got your full pool bath over here. You got your sink right here, shaker cabinetry, your full size shower. Look at this. So as soon as you get out of the pool, you rinse off here, dry off, and you don't have to track any water throughout the home. And certainly last but not least, let's get a close up of the pool so you can see. And look at this. And if I didn't mention, this is on a third of an acre. So you see the iron fencing around right here. You don't have any rear neighbors whatsoever. And look at this. You have a pergola over here. You still have even more yard space right down there. And I tell you, this pool is extremely relaxing. And other than that, family, that was another beautiful luxury home tour. All right, Rankin family, that was it for this beautiful home right here in Brentwood, Tennessee. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this particular home. Is this something you can see yourself living in? Would you make any changes? If so, let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you want more information about this home or any home we showcase, reach out to the information in the description. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. And I'll see you folks on the next property tour.